Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Love Restored. I am your favorite host, Marshaun Olaniyan. I'm super excited to be here for these next 30 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, we are talking about the next episode in dating over 40. Before you re-enter the dating stage, here's what I need for you to do. Today's topic is all about navigating the new dating norms, navigating the new dating norms. We've been talking about several different topics. And last week we talked about your expectations and what it is that you need to shift, what it is that you need to do, the what, the why, and the how about shifting your expectations. So if you have not listened to that episode, then after this one, you can go back and listen to that episode as well. If you are feeling these episodes and you know that you're gaining some information that you're utilizing in your life, then please do not hesitate to share it with a friend. Again, outside of Love Restore, I am a coach. I serve and coach professional Black women, and I help them to show up differently in all of their relationships. We use tailored strategies for where they are at so they can cultivate loving, beautiful relationships. And I say relationships because most people think about romantic relationships when they think about a relationship coach. Although I do help with that, the most important relationship that I help you with is a relationship that you have with the person that you look at in the mirror every day. Yes, that's right, you. Because if you are not together, if you don't feel confident, if your self-esteem is not high, it is low, you're going to attract the low energy, low emotionally charged men. I want you to have high self-esteem, high confidence, know that you are worthy of love, that you are deserving of love, no matter what pressure society has put out on you. Because if you start to rebuke those things, if you speak life and love into yourself, if you have an expectation that you deserve this type of relationship, then listen, can't nothing get in your way if you already believe and deserve, if you already believe that you deserve to have this type of relationship. Nothing will get into your way. Yes, you will have down moments, but by and large, you'll be able to push through those down moments and be able to persevere to still believe that you are deserving and worthy of a healthy relationship. So that is who I am, and that's who I serve. That's outside of Love Restore. If you are ready to make the investment and the time and energy into leveling up yourself before you start dating once again, and you are a professional Black woman, then email me at Marshaun@MarshaunOlaniyan.com. That's my first name, @ first name, last name.com, right? So go ahead and email me, and in the subject line, tell me that you are ready to make the investment in coaching for yourself so you can get you together, so your energy, your light, your behavior, every way that you show up on the day in your life will be different than it ever has been before. And because of that, now you will attract better and different because you understand who you are. You're putting out this positive energy. You are loving life. You are living life. And also, you know what you bring to the table. Okay, so now with that being said, we are talking about the new dating norms. Excuse me, got a little gas here. Okay, little gas going on. I don't understand. Okay, your girl acting silly. So when we re-enter the dating stages over 40, it can feel like you are entering into an entirely new world because it is. I talked about this last week. We have the technology interjected into there. We have the relationship, the shifting of the relationship dynamics, the changing of the societal expectations, and all of this has reshaped how each of us connect. But for Black women over 40, it is an opportunity to redefine love and to set new intentional standards. You've grown wiser, more self-aware, and you should already know your worth. But if you don't, I got you. We're going to get you there. Dating now isn't just about finding someone. It's about finding someone who complements the life that you've built while meeting your evolved needs. The new dating landscape includes online dating, changing relationship expectations, which we talked about, last week. And the emphasis on compatibility over societal norms. It's also called for a deeper understanding of your own desires and boundaries. Navigating this space requires embracing new tools, clear communication, and self-awareness. The first part that I want to address is being intentional. We now have intentional dating, which I so love. Gone are the days of dating for just for the sake of dating. Most people don't want to date just for the sake of dating. And being 40 plus, you probably don't just want to date just to date. Some people do. I get it. But if you're watching this, you probably don't want to date just to date. So gone are those days for dating just for the sake of dating. What's the end game? Let's be intentional about why we're dating. Get clear on your intentions. Be upfront with what you want, whether it's companionship, long-term partnership, or casual dating. But you have to know, because this will filter out mismatch connections. Be intentional about the dating that you want to occur. The more clear that you are about your intentions, the more clarity that you have is the clarity that you are going to attract to you, because you're not going to be scared to say, here's what I'm looking for. Where are you at? Or asking the question first so he doesn't change his answer based off of what you say. That's something I had to do. I had to remember that myself, because I remember I was dating this guy, and I remember telling him there was 3 things that I just absolutely did not want to deal with. Lo and behold, he did 2 out of the 3 and hid them from me for a long time. A long time. So maybe, just maybe, you ask the question and allow him to answer first, so his answer doesn't change based off of what your answer is. So you can get the real. And then if they're not compatible, you can make an informed decision how long you want to stay around / entertain this person and the possibility of the relationship. So be intentional about dating. The second thing is to navigate situationships. Listen, we're no longer doing situationships. The modern dating scene often involves undefined relationships. If clarity is what you need, don't hesitate to have the talk. And when I say have the talk, I'm not just going to say, well, what are we? No. I want you to be intentional about asking the specific questions. And when I say go to have the talk, I absolutely don't want you to go in and beforehand say, we need to have a talk, because then his defenses are going to go up. He's going to be thinking about, what did I do wrong? Even if he didn't do anything wrong, he's still going to be thinking, why do we need to have a talk? What I like to do, what I practice, and also what I like to help my clients to achieve is to make sure that the timing is right. So basically, he's pretty upbeat. He's not coming in looking like a sourpuss, like his day just was all messed up. You want him to be in a good headspace. So make sure that the timing is right, making sure that your environment is right. And then if it's not, hold your tongue. Because just because you're ready to have this conversation doesn't mean that he is ready to receive what you are saying. But, okay, so after you take all of that into consideration, I never say we need to have a talk. And I don't encourage my clients to say that, because, again, you don't want his defenses to raise. After you have assessed the situation and made sure that the timing, he's pretty good, that the environment is good, he seems like he has a pretty good day, then I just start asking the questions. Hey, you know what I was thinking about? Whatever I was thinking about. So whatever it is, the topic that I really want to discuss in that moment, I don't say, can we have a talk? I assess to make sure that he's ready to have a talk. And then I go in, you know what I was thinking about, X, Y, and Z. And then let's see if we can have a conversation with X, Y, and Z. He still may not be ready, and he still may ask, can we table this until later, or give me, an hour or whatever to think about it. Can we come back to it? Let me think about it a little while. Yeah, all of that's fine. The point of it is to not have the conversation, and then secondly, go in there and mess it up before it even begins. So being intentional about what it is that you want to say so you can communicate it with clarity. So We're no longer only accepting situationships. They happen. Yes. Maybe this is where you were at in your life, but now you want more. So you can no longer accept the same habits and behaviors that a person is displaying if you want more. So in order to get more, you have to make it very clear about what you want. It doesn't mean the other person is going to be able to give it to you, but at least you put yours out there. And then if they're not good or great at being a communicator themselves, you can still watch to see what his actions are. Is what came out of his mouth aligning with what he's actually doing and how he is showing up for you? If not, again, you can still make an informed decision about entertaining, moving forward, or turning around and walking away. You can do that. It's okay. The third area, online dating platforms. Some people are really weary about online dating and others are okay with it. It doesn't really matter where you're at. Just know that this is an avenue that is out there that people are using, because no longer are we really meeting our neighbors in our buildings and falling in love with that person. Does it still happen? Absolutely. Yeah. But most people nowadays are meeting people in other areas of the same city that they live in that they never frequent. And so they would never just bump into that person because that's not an area that they frequent. That side of the neighborhood, that side of the city. People, more and more people are spread out, and we're also spread out from our village, what they would call, like, all of our aunties, all of our uncles, our cousins, and then just family, friends. Most of us are spread out now. We live in different cities or even states, and hey, even countries. So they're the online platforms to meeting people. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But do know that this is a way for you to meet even more people. So if you're not afraid, explore online dating. But keep this in mind that the connections can still happen organically. Yes, they can. But use the apps as tools and stay open to meeting people in real life settings, like going to some of the things that you really like to do, like your hobbies, or out to social events. Again, organically still absolutely can happen. Your friend of a friend, right? Your friend knows this person. They also know you, right? So they're the mutual friend in between the two of you. That can still happen where they want to set the two of you up. Both of you have to be willing to do that, but they may want to set both of you up based on like, oh, you two probably will be good together, and then y'all hit it off. All of those things can absolutely still happen, but just knowing that there is another way as well. Learn which platforms cater to mature singles and align with your relationship goals. Now, there are some apps here. I've tried one of the two, but I have heard success on the other one, which is Bumble and Match. I've tried Match. I didn't have success, but I do know people that have tried Bumble and have had success on Bumble. They may offer you some opportunities, but take the time to create a profile that reflects your authentic self. Don't just be putting pictures on there from 20, 30 years ago because you're not okay with who you are today. Trust me, the other person at some point is going to meet you. And if you're not okay with you, why would they be okay with you? You have to be able to be okay with the skin that you are currently in today. And if you're not, again, that's a problem. But if you're not, that's what I would help you with. Being okay in the skin that you are in today. And if there are areas in which you can control and change, then we can working on those areas as well. So we can get you as confident and your self-esteem as high as possible before you even create a dating profile. Because if you're putting pictures on there from 20, 30 years ago when you liked yourself, because you're not satisfied with yourself today. And if you're not satisfied with yourself today before you go out on a date, you're going to be projecting that while you're out on the date. And you may miss you out on your opportunity for your actual person to spend the rest of your life with. This is why we're having this conversation, because I want you to think about all the stuff before you start dating again. Before. You can still do it after, but it's better to do it before. because you get a lot of that junk, a lot of that stuff that's been weighing you down out of the way. Putting a profile together that suits the person that you are today, not the person that you want to be, although some of that stuff can be on there. But again, the picture is one of the things that I know women do, like that, like the 10 and 20-year-old picture. But I also know that men complain about that because again, they meet you today, the today you, not the 10-year or 20-year ago you. And so this is what I hear men complain about, which is why I'm harping on the picture in particular. Men have some things that they do too, like they might lie about how much money they make as well as how tall they are. Those are the two biggest things for men. But that picture for women is absolutely a thing. And then they feel like you gaslighted them or catfished them. That actually is catfish, not gaslight. They feel like you catfished them because you don't look like the person that was in the photo. That's the person that they wanted to meet. And physically, you're not that person anymore. All right, moving forward. I just know that's an area, that's a hot topic for men. That picture. Hot topic. Okay. Moving forward. So check out Bumble and Match if you have not already, because they cater to an older, more mature, I should say, more mature age group. And I can say older, you say this gray hair. Okay, moving on. Another area is healing your past wounds, sis. This is why I work on helping you first. Because if your past wounds are still open, they're going to seep into any relationship that you try to begin. Re-entering the dating world requires acknowledging and healing past emotional pain. This will ensure that you are approaching relationships from a place of readiness and not hurt, from a place of openness and not getting ready to shut down, run away. You want to be open. You want to be ready. And even if you're not 100% healed, which most people are not, they know which areas of weakness they have. The people that have begun to work on themselves, the people that have done the inner work or have begun to done the inner work, they know the areas that they are weak in, but they have began to start to peel back the onion in order to find out what the root cause is as to why they are showing up in that manner. And you want to do the same thing. So if you have not started working on your wounds, all of the baggage and stuff that you bring into the next, or excuse me, that you have brought from relationship to relationship, is because you have not dealt with it. It's because you have not faced it head on. It's because you keep sweeping it under the rug, thinking that it's not that. This ain't the thing that's keeping me down. This ain't the thing that's keeping men away. Not realizing that it's the very thing that's keeping men away. It's the very thing that you keep repelling potential partners with, because it is your blind spot. That's why you're not able to take it in and honor it. That's why you keep fighting against when people tell you a specific thing about yourself. You're just angry. You're just mean. You keep fighting against that. But it's everybody's truth but your own, because you have yet to accept that you're angry about life, about the stuff that happened to you in your past, because you have yet to face it, because you don't believe that this stuff is still harming you. It's just harming you relationally. It may not harm you in the job, but you're not talking about emotions. For the most part, that's your job. You're there to do a job. And you may do it well. And you may be doing really great in your career and sucking in your relationships, because the relationship with yourself sucks. So the relationship with other people in your life have also taken a hit. You have to get started on healing your past wounds and your emotional pain, figuring out what it is, but then also starting to get rid of it if you can, if you're ready to face it. And that's how you can start getting rid of it. You have to be ready though. Okay. Healing those past pains. The next thing is understanding that boundaries are non-negotiable. You have to know what your deal breakers are and communicate them early on. That way, again, because we're not wasting time. 40 plus, we ain't got time to waste. You should be able to tell a person what your boundaries are. You should be able to correct them if they step over the line of your boundary. You should be willing to walk away sooner than later at 40 plus. You should have enough self-esteem to know you don't have to just deal with this stuff, because you don't. It's just a matter of if you are going to or if you are not. That's literally it. Those are your choices. You deal with it or you don't. You whine about it and complain about it, or you don't. You do something about it. Boundaries are non-negotiable. Another area is to evaluate actions over words. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but actions always, always reveal intent. So look for consistency in how someone shows up for you, if at all, not just in what they promise. What have they said verbally and then actually follow through on their actions? See, we're paying attention to everything. In the 20s, he had a better chance of getting over on you than he does in your 40s or in your 50s. 20s, you don't really know no better. But if you're watching this, you absolutely know a little bit more about how you should be showing up, about the things that you should be saying, about the things you should be accepting and the things that you should not be accepting. All of this is playing a part in who you are attracting to you and how much time, energy, and effort you will give to someone that deserves it versus someone that doesn't deserve it. Knowing that, I don't have to take this stuff. I don't have to just accept anything that he's sending my way because I'm afraid of being alone. Well, I've done that. I know that I'm okay alone. Being able to have an attitude like that, like, no, I don't have to accept this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start all over. And okay, I don't want to just accept anything, but knowing that you don't have to, and then being able to set the boundary. Oh, the boundary was crossed. But that's also after you've had conversation to let them know what the boundary is. And then, hey, you say you ain't never going to do this again, right? So there's other things that come into play, but the big picture is set boundary, boundary cross, enforce boundary, whatever you said your enforcement was going to be, or how you were not going to tolerate X, Y, and Z. So whatever you said, you need to be able to, next thing is to pace yourself. Sis, this ain't a rush. This ain't no rush. Take the time to evaluate this potential man or men, because maybe you're dating more than one. I didn't say sleeping with more than one. I said dating more than one. And maybe you shouldn't be sleeping with anybody until you know this is your person. That's one of the things that clouds our judgment, especially if they know what they're doing in the bedroom. It clouds your judgment. And all of the things that you should be seeing as red flags go out the window, especially when there's an introduction to sex very early on. You don't believe me? I'm telling you, it is. We have soul ties, and every partner that you've been with, you have left a piece. They have left a piece of themselves with you. Try to hold off on sex. That's not a part of my notes, but I just know sex can cloud your head. It can make you stop seeing the red flags. You want more, he doesn't, but he puts it down well. So you willing to deal with I guess I'm just getting a piece of a man once again. Nah, that ain't what we're doing no more. Don't move too fast. Having sex too early is moving too fast. Been there, done it. I'm not condemning you. I'm just letting you know. That's why I know, as well as the people that I've helped. But I also know because I've been there, done that. It usually never pans out. Moving too fast can lead to unnecessary emotional strain. Thing that you don't even have to deal with / worry about if sex is not involved. If you're out there really trying to get to know the person and they're really trying to get to know you, you already know that sex is still going to be there. There is no rush. Because if I'm going to be here and trying to get to know you, once we cross that barrier threshold, we already know it's there. So there's no rush to it. 40, 50, there's no rush to it anymore. When it's great, it's great. But 40, 50, 60, you need way more than SCX to satisfy you. Otherwise, you still going to feel like you're doing this thing alone. Okay. Pace yourself. The final area is to focus on joy. Sis, focus on finding moments where you can showcase your joy. Dating shouldn't feel like a chore. It absolutely should not. So approach it with curiosity and fun. Enjoy the process rather than fixating on what the outcome is going to be. Because if you're fixating on, oh, it has to turn into a relationship, it has to turn into a relationship, you are going to drive yourself crazy and the people around you crazy as well. You're not going to have as much fun as if you were just being carefree, still understanding your desires, still knowing what your needs are, still communicating them. But if it doesn't turn into and or blossom into a relationship, you're still okay. You're not going to fall apart because it didn't turn into a relationship. You'll still be okay. And that's okay. So enjoy the process. Focus on having fun and bringing your joy, showcasing your light, showcasing your positive energy. Yes, there will be moments of seriousness. Yes, embrace those too. But don't forget to have fun. Don't see this as a chore where you're going out there and now you're thinking about what boxes need to be checked. You can still pay attention to the entire date, but be on the date when you're on the date. The reflection and assessment time comes later once you two part and your endorphin levels have decreased and you're sitting in your quiet moments, whether or not you have a pen to journal, meditate, whatever, but to assess the situation. How did you feel in his company? Did he make you feel wanted? Did he make you feel seen? Did you feel safe in his company? Or did you feel like you needed to walk on pins and needles and not share some of the things that you truly wanted to say? That's you focusing on the wrong thing or being scared to reveal yourself completely because you really want this to go somewhere. And the funny part about this is the more carefree you are, the more this person that's for you wants to lock you down. It's funny. The more that you want to get locked down, the more they feel that type of energy. And they may never say it, but they're like, oh, no, something. I feel like I might be stuck or something. They feeling some type of way about it. That's not what you want them to feel. That's not what you want them to feel at all. So because of that, slow things down, pace it, but focus on joy. Focus on the joy. So now, I promised you something that you should be doing. So here's what I would like for you to do. If you have been using your journal, then do this. So I want you to take 30 minutes today to reflect on what you want this new chapter of dating to look like. I want you to write down your top 3 dating goals, the 3 lessons learned from past relationships, and the 3 qualities that you desire in a partner. This reflection will center you as you step forward with clarity and confidence. I'm going to repeat those things. It's 333. The first 3 is to write down your top 3 dating goals. The next set of 3, the top 3 lessons you've learned from past relationships, so you can stop repeating these things, right? The next 3, or the last 3, is what 3 qualities do you desire in your future mate? This is going to help you to clarify what it is that you're looking for. So when you go out there, you can show up with your confidence and knowing that, okay, if these are not in alignment, and they do not have to match up perfectly, but you do need to be aware of them, especially, but not limited to, the lessons. What did you learn from being in your previous relationships? What can you start to focus on shifting and changing so you can stop repeating the same thing over and over again? Thank you for being here for these 30 minutes with me. I really appreciate it. I am your host, Marshaun Olaniyan. This is Love Restored, and you are listening to or watching KCCR Brownstone Cityscapes Radio. I love you guys, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And next week, we will discuss another hot topic about re-entering the dating stage 40 plus. So I will see